All right, looks like we're about to drop. Here we go.
Sounds good. I'm going to switch to my match view.
Yep.
And I am excited. I'm seeing some of my old friends on here. We've got, well, I'll have to pop up the screen, but I saw Boot Camp. Das Boot Camp. Good guy. A lot of fun to play with. Professor Cleo is pretty good in battleships. Captain Tyrell, it's all right. Elastic Spider and Electrician Zing are both really good cruiser players, and Sneaky Snake too. And Mega and Destroyer can do mega things.
Yeah, sorry I got a little distracted there. Looking down the lineup for Rust, we've gone double Montana, double Des Moines, double Hindenburg, double Gearing. Double trouble here on the Rust lineup.
Double trouble.
Lots of doubles, baby. 2 of everything. If it's good enough for 1, let's just play 2.
Well, and we commented earlier about how that adds to the flexibility of the team. If you look at APOC, they've kind of done the same thing. They've got 1 Des Moines, but 3 Hindenburg. So
Yeah,
I think what they're going to do is they're going to put Tyrell in a position to defend a flank, and then they're going to push hard with their other 3 Hindenburgs and just win. At least that's what I hope we'll see.
Well, we'll find out shortly.
Yeah. I'd like to win a match that I cast. You know? I don't want the curse of the quad.
Well, you don't have that. You didn't have it last time. I mean, you cast plenty of matches that your team won last tournament.
I know. I'm just saying. For those of you guys who don't know, there's a curse of the quad where anybody that quad goes and casts, they lose.
Yeah, I flooded.
When they get their streamer assignments and they're like, oh, we have quad. You know, they're just like, oh.
All right, well,
This is gonna be.
Rust is completely abandoning A. They're not sending a single ship in that direction. The Gearings are easily making for B and C, and the entire fleet is basically deploying in a manner that will support them in those positions.
Yeah, that's completely expected to see the big fight over there. Interestingly enough, I'm not really seeing that with APOC. I'm seeing a bigger push on A and B as Cleo takes a quick pot shot at the enemy Montana.
Yeah, I wanted a view of that, but I'm stuck to my carrier.
Ta-da!
Because I'm still flooding and I'm not dead yet.
Well, kill yourself quicker, sir.
Yeah, well, working on it. Almost dead.
Ta-da!
Good thing I didn't accidentally hit repair. That would have been embarrassing.
And we're off. So we've got A and B capped by both gearings. Mega at B cap, which is where I would want to see Mega. Nothing against Fa. I just don't know him that well.
Well, this is interesting. You know, when we played with the APOC guys, it was always Tier 8. So those guys all had kind of their ship at Tier 8. But now this is Tier 10, and we haven't played with them at Tier 10. This will be a little interesting.
Exactly. That's why I was so excited to be casting this.
Yeah.
You're gonna love what Elastic Spider is setting up for. When you see it, you're just gonna laugh.
All right, Silver Doc's Gearing now contesting B, kind of blind torping out that side of the cap. I don't know what he's gonna hit with those, but just throwing them out there. As SBC Nitro's Gearing is about to get into the C cap. Biggie's Hindenburg already there, taking some fire. Elastic Spider clearly kind of just delaying that cap by continuing to land shells on him and reset his cap points. Ooh, some good hits there. Biggie taking some damage early. Silver Doc kind of worked himself into a bad position here, trying to run, but there's an island due north of him. He can't really run, honestly. If the Des Moines radar's Silver right now, he is very, very screwed.
Your Montana just took 2 torps from. Oh, and somebody else took a torp too from.
Well, Hindenburg.
Mega. Hindenburg, yeah.
Lime Killer Hindenburg and Uncle Unter's Montana taking some torps there from. You said that was from Mega.
Yep, and once again, there's that carrier spotting change. Those torpedoes should have been spotted from where those fighters were.
Well, but there were no planes
because of the change.
Well, there were no planes over there. To some extent, the Des Moines' presence in that quadrant kind of protects that torpedo vision because no one wants to risk their planes.
Yeah, and this is a standard Des Moines camp spot too, so this should not be a surprise for anyone.
Lime Killer hits the brakes here. I don't like this play. I feel like
Nope.
he should have just gone ahead and taken the pain and turned out.
Uncle Owner is back on fire too, so he's going to burn for a bit, losing a lot of hit points for this. There's the radar on Silver.
Yep, they've radared Silver finally. He's trapped in there with nowhere to really run easily or effectively, taking a lot of damage here. Trying to escape B. B does flip for APOC. They do cap it.
This is very aggressive from APOC.
Yeah,
I like it.
Lime finally making the turn. He and Ownter deciding this is not where I want to be.
No. But it's almost too late for Ownter.
See, this is where like Silver had to blow his smoke earlier. It would have been really good to have it right here, right now for Lime Killer, and he doesn't.
Absolutely. I think in the next game, we're going to see him play a little bit more carefully.
Well, I think he just lost track of where that island was in terms of his escape route, and he did not execute that escape very well. Rust and Oxide giving up a tremendous amount of health there for very little gain as they're 60 points down 5 minutes into the game.
What's this? What's K538 doing in the Montana there? I would not expect to see him in that spot.
I think he was coming back to support Ownter and Lime Killer. That's all I can think of. His guns are certainly pointed in the center of the map there. Oh, big hit there on Ownter from somebody.
I think that was the Montana.
They're continuing to focus him. Lots of shells, lots of HE shells still coming in on him, but he's gone dark now, I think. Nope, he fires there.
No,
clearly spotted again.
Fire.
Torps coming in on Silver. Will he dodge? Yes. Silver ducking back into the top end of B to contest it. Both gearings now as SBC's gearing also entering the cap from the north. A lot of Rust firepower just to the north of B. Uh-oh. Torps coming in on Silver position. Silver's now. Is he going to dodge these? Barely. Crosses just astern of him there. Ownter gets a little bit of cover as Rust to Dust Des Moines now entering the fray here at B as well. SBC takes a torp and smoke, I think.
Pega took a torp. He's low.
Big rumble at B here early. Say what?
Did you see Electrician Zing, by the way?
I did not.
Elastic Spider, I mean. Oh, Biggie got...
Yeah, Biggie pinned up against the edge of the map up there, up on the 9 line, finally drops. Fighter defense not in time, as pretty much all the surviving Rust ships are just north of B. Big rumble at B. Big play for them here. They've got one battleship who's about to die. Uncle Ownter going out right now. Big hit on... big hit on... Yeah. Big hit on Rust to Dust there. His Des Moines drops half HP in one salvo there. His island cover not really working out the way he'd hoped. 2-ship lead for APOC here. B-cap contested, but they have a huge health advantage here as we cross about 6 minutes into the game.
One thing I want to point out too, Boot Camp is... I'm pretty sure he's the one calling, and he's clicking the mini-map furiously, telling his team where to go, who to shoot at, all that good stuff.
Lime Killer just took a big hit. Yep, just taking a big hit there. More planes coming in now, clearly spotting all of these gearing torpedoes that are trying to push Tyrael out of that position. I assume that's what those torps are for.
Yeah. And that's the thing about the Des Moines. Come get me, bro.
Yeah, it draws a tremendous amount of hate. Those torps aren't going to land or do anything, really. Now, Fanzo's Hakuryu's in an interesting spot. He's going to have a hard time turning out of there. If K38 continues heading south, he might be able to have shots on the Hakuryu.
Yeah, but he's turning in. I don't think he sees him.
Yeah, we'll see. APOC now moving out to nearly a 300-point lead here as the match approaches the halfway mark. APOC doing a great job of focus firing the surviving Rust battleship. K538 here is Montana working the bottom end, well, kind of the eastern edge, I should say, of the B cap.
Yeah, interesting how they haven't been shooting at. There we go. Silver is now being focused.
Oh, they can see him.
Oh yeah, they've been able to see him for the past couple of minutes because the
planes, I guess, or radar. Must be planes.
Yeah. Nah, planes.
Rust burning in at least 2 places.
Might have been Tyrael's radar. Oh, there it is. There's Tyrael's radar, I'm sure.
Benzo gets off a pretty good strafe there at B, polishing off some fighters. Lots of AA churning against his planes, but not getting much for it. Rust making progress in B now, but they've had to surrender a tremendous amount of HP to get there. Nearly 200k down.
Is pretty much dead.
Well, he's still got about 80,000 hit points, right? And there's nobody on nobody south of him who can damage him. Everybody who can shoot at him is in front of him.
Well, other than the carrier, yes.
Other than the carrier.
But what I'm getting at is he's pigeonholed himself into a spot where he just really can't get out. Ooh, Cleo takes a big hit from him.
Well, one of the other things that Rust has not necessarily executed very well right now is their smoke has kind of been wasted preserving their destroyer health. They haven't been able to smoke up their cruisers the way they really needed to. Torpedoes and smoke take out SBC.
The enemy team has taken the lead.
I think some of the impact you're seeing here, Zath, is that change of the torpedo spotting is really hurting their ability to spot some of these torps coming in.
Yep, I think Hydro is going to become a more useful consumable as a result. We might start seeing more ZP2s.
538 now in a tremendous amount of focus fire. Down around under half health, 2 fires burning, and more shells continuing to pour in on him.
Rust to Dust has just been converted to dust.
Yep. And Elastic Spider now up into C, backed up by Mega Dude.
Yep.
Torpedo strike going on Mega, but he's got his defensive fire going. Doesn't look like much of that's going to go anywhere.
No.
False premises, nope. I thought he was going to try and push the attack home anyway, but it doesn't look like, yep, nope. None of those planes survived to drop.
Yep. And that's what I was trying to point out about Spider at the beginning when I said, you know, just wait till you see him. I mean, he was in a position to just kite them out of sea, and he did that.
Rust finally bags B, but the cost is extreme. They're now 5 ships down, and they lose the sea cap on top of it. All but over here for Rust. Oh yeah, this is over.
The torp bombers.
There's 600 points and 5 ships down. This is over. K-38 will die here. There he goes. Hindenburg and a Des Moines and a Hakuryu, all that's left for Rust as APOC begins to bag the B cap. Kind of all over but the crying. Yep. There come the GGs. A solid, convincing show here for APOC. They haven't even lost a ship. Still well over 350,000 health collectively as a team. It felt to me like Rust just they sacrificed a tremendous amount of HP for fairly weak board positions.
Well, here's where we see, I think, just the lack of experience competitively that Rust and Oxide has compared to APOC. APOC's been running Supremacy League for, what, 7 seasons now? 6 seasons?
Yeah.
So, you know, there's so many things that come into playing competitive. Sure, positioning is part of it, and sure, accuracy and artillery hits and stuff is part of it, but there's so many more intrinsic things too, like working together with people. If you're with somebody and you know them really well, you know how they're going to act, you know what they're going to do, and you gain a lot of confidence from that.
Absolutely. Well, and you know, you and I have played with Mega and Sneaky and Spider and Cleo and Boot Camp, and these guys have been playing together for almost 2 years. So that's
the point I'm making.
Yeah, well, that's my point, right? Like, yes, there's clearly something to be said just for experience as a clan, as a whole, but some of that is also just experience playing with the other people around you.
Absolutely. And there's something to say about team composition.